Welcome guys, I'm going to go over the Amazon FBA system that nobody is fully explaining online. And with the same exact system, I did over $70,000 in my first 59 days and quit my job in 3 months. And this system not only worked for me during this little breakdown, this is going to be more so of a workshop. I'm going to go over different products, how the whole system works, but it also worked for several other people, changed their lives completely, were able to quit their jobs, start that side hustle, build that business, and just make a lot of money ultimately. But not only is this system very lucrative for you to be able to make a lot of money, but it can run completely on autopilot. And I'm also going to go over not just how you can get started and make money today, but how you can set it up in a way where it works completely on its own. So let's get right into it. Before we start, I'm going to go over who this business model is for. So this presentation or business is for 4 different type of people. Number 1 is going to be the side hustler. So this is someone who already has a job and is not really looking to quit their job right now or immediately. They're just looking to build that side hustle income, an extra $2,000 to an extra $10,000 while working a job. This was part of me as well. When I was starting off on Amazon, I was actually doing this as a side hustle while working my 9 to 5. The next one is going to be the job escaper. This one was pretty much me. I wanted to stop working for someone else and be able to build my own business and work for myself, right? Be able to replace my job ultimately with that new business that I started. The third one is the scaler. So this is someone who's already doing something, but wants to go where you are to 6 or 7 figures with real systems, right? So if you're already in e-com or have some sort of side hustle or income coming in, and you want to build a business to scale it to 6, 7 figures even, which some of my students have already done. This presentation is for you as well. The other one is the freedom seeker. So this is a business. This is someone that wants to be able to build a business that runs without you. So that way you can be able to travel, live anywhere, work just a couple of hours a week and collect a profit. This business could be done pretty much from anywhere in the world. I have students that are in Brazil, China, the Trinidad, Argentina. Myself, I've traveled several times while having my business completely work on its own. And so this is what this presentation is for. It's for those 4 different types of people. And I'll go ahead and introduce myself so that way you understand who it is that I am. So I basically started with $700. I was born in Ecuador. I moved to the US. I worked at McDonald's. I dropped out of college and I tried a bunch of different things, right? So I spent a lot of time, mostly from the age to 18 to 23, which is when I discovered. I spent a lot of just a lot of alone time trying to figure out what's a good business for me to start and a good way for me to make money. That was a lot of alone time trying to figure out a lot of things. So I tried a lot of different things. I tried drop shipping, right? I mentioned trading and crypto. Ultimately, they all ended up failing. So I just, stayed stuck in a job that I didn't want. And what ended up happening was at my job, I think I made almost 2 years. So I decided to ask for a promotion at my job. It ended up getting denied. So after that, I realized, right, like, I gave this company so much of my time, my effort, energy, that if I were to give that to myself and be able to build my own thing, I'm pretty sure I would be able to succeed. So I started doing a lot of research. And what I realized is Amazon is such a humongous company. I mean, I'll go over that in detail in a little bit of like how vast Amazon is. But ultimately, I saw that Amazon was selling almost $1 billion a day, and that a lot of the transactions were being made by third-party sellers. So these aren't people that this isn't Amazon selling you the product. This isn't the brand selling you the product. It's the third-party seller like myself that's selling you the product. So I found Amazon FBA. I started in my house with barely any money, like I mentioned, just $700. After the first week, I did $1,200 in sales. So I ended up just utilizing my business credit, my personal credit, and getting business credit cards, different personal credit cards that I was able to get. Within 59 days, I did $70,000 in sales, and I quit my job in 91 days. 3 years later, right, I've done $4 million on Amazon. I have a it says 14,000 square foot warehouse, but Now it's 13,000 square foot warehouse in New Hampshire. I have a McLaren, right? I wanted to get my dream car, condo in Miami. But the most important thing is I'm still actively selling today. So this isn't something that I just did, a year or two when I stopped and I'm just making videos on how my experience was. I'm still actively selling to this day, in which I'm still trying to grow my business to be able to do $1 million a month, right? Here I have some screenshots of the months I've had in the past, right? January was pretty good. August was pretty good. But I'll go ahead and go into my seller dashboard real quick. And in here, you could see that today was pretty shitty, right? Just $3,000. But I've done, had weeks where I've done over $50,000. Like for instance, I'll go into January from 15 to the 29th. I'll apply it real quick. And you can see, right, $104,000 in just 2 weeks. So here's, directly from my Seller Central dashboard. This isn't a screenshot, straight from the website. That's a little bit about me. I've been doing it for 3 years now. And again, I'm still actively selling. Now, the system works, and here's the proof, right? It's not just from me, but it's from other people as well. So I've had 160 students. A lot of them have succeeded, been able to quit their jobs, right? Change their lives. So I've seen this experience not just from me, but from dozens of other people. So here I'm going to start off with Julian and then go into Noah, Javi, and then Juan and John. So Julian, by far, one of the more successful students I've had. He was able to quit his job in just 2 months. And during that time, he actually surpassed $100,000. And now he's doing around $200,000 every month, which is insane, right? Like that's a crazy number to hit, right? Not just in business, but in general, right? There's Noah here. He's doing $100,000 every month. He was able to quit his job in just 4 months. And now he has his own warehouse in Miami. Javi literally just started with $1,000, like in general, right? Cash. And now he's doing $45,000 per month and is actually going to be scaling to that $100,000 per month this year. Juan and John, I saw them do over $50,000 in just 3 months. They were able to quit their job in just a couple months and just pretty much do it full time. So here we'll start off with Julian. You can see here, he posted me a couple weeks ago saying how he started with me, right? Just 2 years ago, sent me a DM because he knew me from high school. And his life was able to be changed. And then here you can see his screenshot on his Instagram, $1.7 million last 12 months. And we actually became good friends. This is us at a rave, right? We were partying, hanging out. But yeah, he's doing an average of 6 figures, $100,000, $200,000 every month. And then here's Noah. You can see here, he sent me this text saying that he's glad able to pull the trigger on being able to work with me. And I told him, at the end of the day, it's not just me giving you the information. It's also you actually taking action and making it work, because I'm not going to do it for you. I'm going to teach you everything, show you everything, how everything works. But ultimately, it's up to you to actually use that knowledge, apply it, and make it work. Here he has his own warehouse in Miami. He was showing me it. I'm actually going to go visit. Here's a picture of us at the restaurant. And then here's a text message he sent me a couple weeks ago saying, he surpassed $100,000 last 30 days. I'm not touching grass, so I hit a 200K month, which is, that's what I expect. And then here's the picture he sent me, $101,000 last 30 days. So pretty cool. And then here's Javi. And here's a picture of him in his warehouse spot, a bunch of Milwaukee tools. And again, Javi started with $1,000 and now he's doing $45,000 per month. And he's going to be scaling up really good, really hard this month to 6 figures every month, right? So the key takeaway from this is that none of these individuals had any prior business experience, prior tech skills. They've never done e-commerce in general. They've never sold anything online. And that doesn't matter, right? Because there's opportunities for anybody who's willing to learn and willing to put in the work. And now I'm going to explain why Amazon. So Amazon is far the largest e-commerce marketplace in the world. They're selling almost $2 billion a day, and over 60% of all transactions come from third-party sellers, right? So that's not people that own the brand or Amazon themselves. These are individuals that are like me, Julian, Noah, and Javi that are just buying these products at a discounted price and selling them at retail price on Amazon. And there's over 210 million Prime members just in the US alone. And these are all facts, right? You could go ahead and search this up yourself. And this is pretty much what drew me in, because I realized I wanted to be able to replace my job personally. And I didn't want to start something that it was an if, right? So if I start this business, is there a chance that it won't work, right? This was pretty much almost a guarantee in my eyes, right? Nothing in life is guaranteed except death. But this was almost a guarantee in my eyes. So Amazon accounts for nearly half of all US e-commerce. Just in Q4, they did $185 billion in net sales. That was in 2024, right? We're in 2026. That number's increased by a lot. And then Amazon Prime Day 2024 alone, they did $14 billion in sales, over 600 million products on the platform. And there's actually over 100 million different products that you yourself can buy to then resell on Amazon. So the opportunity is there. There's more and more people shopping on Amazon every day a year. When I first started, almost $1 billion was being sold on Amazon. Now we're almost at $2 billion a day on Amazon. So the numbers are going up and more people are shopping online. And just like any business that you've seen in the past, they're not reinventing the wheel, right? They're just selling products that people already want. So that this is very important. Now, and Amazon's revenue has grown. This is the only e-commerce model where you know your profit before you buy the product, right? So unlike a lot of businesses that are in e-commerce with Shopify or private label or starting your own, brand in general or selling on different marketplaces, you honestly don't know how much money you're going to make before you even buy the product. With Amazon, you actually know, you have a really, really good understanding of how much money you're going to make before you even buy the product. And that's one of the key factors that made me want to do this, because again, I wanted to find something that was very consistent that I could be able to grow. And again, not something that where I would have to see if it does work out, right? I wanted to make my money count, mostly when I didn't really have much money to begin with. And this is something also where you don't have to run any ads. You don't really have to drive marketing in general, right? The product and demand is already there. You just have to find a product at a discounted price that's profitable and sell it on the marketplace, right? So I'm gonna break down what that even means. And then just to explain to you, Amazon is where you go ahead and find the product, you buy it cheaper, you ship it to Amazon. It goes Prime, right? With that 2 days shipping, 3 days shipping. Customer buys the product and then you collect your profit. That's as simple as I can make it. So there's different ways to sell on Amazon, and here's where I started, what I've seen other people do, and I'll break down each model. So the first model is going to be retail arbitrage. This is where you walk into your stores, which is like more Ross, Marshalls, Target, TJ Maxx, Walmart, Dollar Tree, and you're basically scanning the products so that way you could see how much money you're buying it at and how much money you could be selling it at on a listing that's popular for that specific product on Amazon. This is a very low barrier to entry in which you could actually make money very, very fast, since the product is already there and you already have it in your hand, and you could already pretty much immediately start selling it or shipping it out to Amazon. This is a way where I started, and I didn't really continue that model for too long, but this is a way where I've seen a lot of my students start just to compound their money extremely fast and then be able to scale up into these other models. So the next one is going to be online arbitrage. This is essentially retail arbitrage, but you're sourcing it online instead, right? So you're sourcing from the websites like Target.com, Walmart.com, BestBuy.com, and a bunch of other retailers, right? And this is where you're trying to look for coupon codes, flash sales, try to get cash back, or maybe try to lower the price through like bundling the items, bulk ordering. So I myself actually solely do this model as of right now. I've done all these models, by the way, and I'm going to explain to you the experience I've had with them, but I solely do online arbitrage right now. And from my experience, it's extremely scalable, and it's a really good way to have high profit margins and just really compound your money as well and make a lot of money. This is not these different models depend on who you are, right? So after I finish explaining them, you can see for yourself which model would be best. But I myself, I've done all these models. So the next one is going to be wholesale. This is where you go directly to the distributors, suppliers, manufacturers, and buy in bulk at a discounted price. So this is where you're building long-term supplier relationships. You negotiate the pricing. You could also get like net 30, net 60 payment terms. I place around $60,000 in purchase orders with suppliers personally. A ton of experience when it comes to this, opening different accounts, seeing their catalog, and being able to build that relationship and negotiate pricing, that sort of thing. And then the other one is private label. This is where you create your own brand and product. You go to Alibaba, you source a manufacturer, you build a listing from scratch, invest in photography, right? Run PPC ads. This is pretty much essentially the highest risk, highest capital requirement. You could easily be investing around $50,000 off rip just on purchasing the product, running ads, and setting up the foundation before you get your first sale. So this is, in my opinion, for experienced sellers who already understand the platform deeply or e-commerce in general. I tried private label early on. It did not work at all. I pretty much burned all the money that I had. And I've seen a lot of people burn money here before they were even ready. So the thing about private label is when I mentioned highest risk is most sellers don't even pretty much make any money, right? They just end up burning the entire capital that they funded their project with and just call it a loss with their lives. So from my experience, I think all sellers should start with retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. It's a really good way to get your foot in the door. It's very low risk, low start, right? You can start with $1,000 or $800 and go into your local stores or buy from websites those products. And I'll go over some products with you, so that way you can and then be able to compound your money, get that good experience, reinvest, and then get your other capital from either your day job or another income that you have. And then I'll go over capital as well, how you could be able to scale up, right? Since I only used $700 in my own capital, and Hobby only started with $1,000. So we'll go ahead and continue. And then we're gonna go over to show you exactly how the money works live. So the very first thing, like I mentioned, I personally do online arbitrage, but this model, what I'm going to do right now, works pretty much the same exact across the board, right? So for instance, we'll go into this product that I have here. This is Jellycat. It's selling for $50, right? And as you can see, I'm not on any other website, right? I'm on Amazon.com. And in here, you could see my SellerAmp extension, and then you could see how much money I'm basically going to make before I even buy the product, right? It's selling for $50. So we'll go over some couple things here. The very first thing I want to start off with is I did not create this listing. This listing was created by, I'm assuming, the brand, and it was created 668 days ago. We also see here that there are 26 people reselling this product, right? We could actually go down here. We could see there's 26 offers, and we could see some of them are FBM. We can see some of them are FBA. We can see they're all pretty much competing against each other to sell this product, right? This listing has 211 reviews. What I'm speaking of, right? It's a very simple process where you're pretty much looking at products and brands that are already in demand, looking for that product at a lower price and selling them at retail price on a listing that is already selling on Amazon, right? So in this case, we could go ahead and go into our checklist and see, is the ROI at least 30% after all Amazon fees? Yes or no. But in this case, let's go ahead and put a yes. Profit per unit is at least $3 after all fees. This one is more of a personal one because I don't want to go ahead and buy anything that's under $3 profit per unit. In this case, we are profiting $17 profit per unit. So we're going to go ahead and put yes. Buy price found at a significant discount, 20% off. So it's basically saying, did you find a coupon to lower the price a lot? Or is everybody able to get access to that same price you're seeing at? In this case, everybody's able to get access to that same price, right? We're gonna go ahead and put no. Cashback available. So that website does have cashback, and Cashback is basically different websites for you to be able to get cash back from that purchase. So in this case, if we go ahead and purchase 5, right, we're basically going to spend $250 since each one's $50 per unit. And let's say cashback is 5%, right? So then that's going to mean cashback is $12.50. That's extra money on top of what you're making as far as a profit goes. So in this case, this website does have cashback, and I won't really get too much into that. So in this, we're going to put yes. Amazon fees verified SellerAmp. Yep. Sales rank is pretty strong. So the sales rank is pretty much you want to go ahead and see how popular the product is. And the factor that's going to determine that is called sales rank. And in here, in our Keep Up platform, we could actually see our sales rank going, like how many people are selling that product, because you basically don't want price to go down when you have that product. Making a good decision when it comes to purchasing this product, so that way we don't purchase the product and end up losing money. In this case, we'll go back here and we'll actually see that we'll fill out our information. We're buying this product at $50, and FBA right now is actually at around $90. We could say like 92. And we're making $90. We're making $18. ROI is 37.5, and it's selling 500 plus units a month. Boom. This is something that's pretty good that I would go ahead and purchase, right? And then here, this one here is selling for $23, and then here is selling for $29. It's selling 600 units per month. But what we're seeing here is that, we're literally losing money, right? And why is that? Because there is one seller holding price at $29. This flat out, right, I wouldn't sell it in general because we're losing money. So that one's pretty easy, right? Do not buy this product. You will lose money. But if you end up buying this product without doing that proper analysis, there's not really a huge need to worry, right? Because you could just return the product back to the retail store. I believe Jellycat has a return policy of 30 days, I think maybe 60 days. And, they can make exceptions as well. So, give or take, you have up to 30 days to return the product. So not a huge thing, right? We didn't really fully fill out this checklist, but, I've been doing this for so long that I just wanted to make that quick analysis. But I also like keeping things very simple, and for you to understand, like, obviously there's way more to it. And since I've been doing this for 3 years, there's a lot of things that I have an eye on that someone that would be just starting off, right? Like you guys yourselves, or that are new in the space, wouldn't really have. And there's no problem, right? But all that comes with experience, right? Just practicing, being in the trenches, building that business. That's pretty much the model itself. Like I mentioned, none of these listings on Amazon I created. I didn't create the brand. I didn't do anything. I didn't run ads to the product. And as you can see, it's not just me. There's other people on that listing as well that are selling. There's over 100 million different products that you can go ahead and buy and resell on Amazon. The opportunity is there for anyone to just jump on. You know how much money you're going to make before you even buy the product, which I think is extremely powerful, because that brings me on to my next segment, is how you can go ahead and continue, right, and start scaling up. So let's say you bought the product, right? So now what? So you have 3 options, right? Maybe even a 4th one. So you could ship it out to your house. This is literally how I started, right? You could work with a prep center, and what a prep center is pretty much a cheat code. You don't have to go ahead and ship it out to your house, or pretty much take care of the product or handle the product, touch the product, see the product in person. You can ship it out to what's called a prep center. And what that pretty much is they'll go ahead and receive the product, prep it up, and ship it out to Amazon for you. So yes, you need to prep the product, because basically you need to either put it in a poly bag, put a label on it, whatever the category is. If it's glass, you want to go ahead and put surroundings on it so that way it doesn't break. If it's a shoe, you want to go ahead and possibly put a rubber band around the shoe box, so that way the shoe doesn't open when it's on the way to the customer or to Amazon's fulfillment center. Or you could go ahead and ship it out to your own warehouse, right? So if you have a warehouse, or if you want to go ahead and eventually get a warehouse space, right? Like I have my own warehouse, you can ship it out there, and employees or yourself can go ahead and receive it. So like I mentioned, I myself in my house, this right here, I believe that picture is from May 2023. or April 2023. And as you can see, there's a ton of shoes there, a bunch of New Balances. I think I have like $10,000 worth of shoes in that living room. I just did it there in my living room. I had boxes all over the place. It was extreme. It was a huge mess. My mom was super mad at me, but she understood the grind, right? Here's a prep center. I have my own prep center. You can search it up. It's called Ultimate Prep Center. And here's my warehouse. Again, 13,000 square feet. We are in New Hampshire. And the reason why I chose New Hampshire is because there's no sales tax. So that's extremely important, because when you are wanting to purchase these products, right, you have to pay sales tax on them. So if you're, let's say, purchasing in Florida, there's a 7% sales tax. California has 10%. But in New Hampshire, there is no sales tax. So I'm avoiding paying sales tax, and therefore my margins are higher, which helps a lot. So here's my warehouse. This is my employee. This is one part of it. This is the other part of the loading docks. All the products get dropped off here, and we bring it into this receiving area, and we go ahead and prep it up into this area that you can't see, but it's a very big spot back. Again, 13,000 square feet. And then we ship it out over here. UPS comes and picks up all the FBA boxes, and they ship it out to Amazon. And then when it comes to scaling up, right, from what you've noticed is the only way you can make money is by purchasing products, right, and selling them. So the more money you have to purchase products, the more money you can make. Now, again, you do not need a lot of money to start. Now, another thing is you can go ahead and apply for 0% interest APR cards. I myself, when I first started, I applied for different 0% interest APR cards. These were business credit cards, and I got around $90,000 for me to be able to purchase products and sell them. And given the return on investment math that I just did, you could do the math on that, right? This is where it becomes extremely powerful if you know what you're doing, right? Because money is not the be all end all, right? I think knowledge and experience is extremely way more important than having capital, because I rather have, per se $5,000 than have $100,000, right? But I have $5,000 and I know what I'm doing compared to $100,000 and not knowing what I'm doing. I rather have the 5K and know what I'm doing, because I'm gonna have 100K and I'm gonna buy products like this one here, right? And I'm gonna lose all my money. Or I'm gonna buy products that I can't sell, that are restricted, that don't move, or like that end up going down a lot in price because a lot of competition jumped on the listing. So you could be able to go ahead and leverage your credit to then get different credit cards, right? And I've seen on average people that have good credit get like $70,000, right? And for someone that knows what they're doing with that money, they're going to make a lot of fucking money very fast. Like that's literally how Javi, Juan and John, Noah, Julian were able to do it, right? Just leverage your credit, continue reinvesting, learning. But no worries if you don't have good credit, right? The biggest thing, like I mentioned, is knowledge. Now, the other thing is while you are growing your business is accumulating credibility. And that's really good for not just credit cards, but you could be able to take out like lines of credit, loans when your business is mature. And there's also called Amazon lending, right? So Amazon could actually give you loan offers just based purely off your sales. I myself, I've been able to accept $80,000 Amazon loans just for my sales, right? Like literally no credit check, just because they see how much money I was able to make in terms of sales. They want to go ahead and give me more money, because the more I could sell, the more money they make, right? And as your business continues growing, like let's say you're 1 year in business, 6 months in business, 2 years in business, you could be able to get lines of credit with banks, and that's where you could get like hundreds of thousands of dollars to then go ahead and, purchase more inventory and continue scaling up. So again, this is where things become very powerful. Essentially make so much money that you honestly wouldn't know what to do with it, but to just focus and just continue buying products. Very crazy stuff, but that's essentially how that part is when it comes to scaling when it comes to the capital side of things. Now, as far as the system itself, we are looking for products, we are purchasing the products, we're shipping it out to Amazon, whether you ship it out to your house, prep center, warehouse, and then Amazon is going to pretty much do the rest of the work for us, because that's what Amazon FBA is. So the product sourcing, you could actually delegate this process. When you understand how the product sourcing works, you could actually be able to get hire virtual assistants from the Philippines and teach them your system, your strategy, and they'll go ahead and source the products for you. You could have them administrate your Amazon store, right? Like organize all the orders you're placing, all the back end data stuff. I have 4 virtual assistants, 3 of them sourcing products for me 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then one of them is administrating my Amazon store. So they are organizing all the inventory that I am purchasing, all the back end work, right? Ensuring my Amazon store is healthy, any reviews I get, customer support, messages from customers. So you could be able to delegate that. I already went over the purchasing, the credit, right? When it comes to getting these loans later on, or getting credit cards that give you tens of thousands of dollars extra capital for you to play with and make money from, which if you do the math, let's say you spend $50,000 on 35% return on investment inventory, you're going to make, I could do the math real quick, $17,500. So you could actually, it's crazy. And then now the next thing is the prep and fulfillment, right? I already mentioned prep center or warehouse. So this is all up to you, right? I know a lot of sellers that are doing so much working with the prep center, and I know sellers that have their own warehouse. I decided to go ahead and my own warehouse. I have my own in-house system that I like to use. I am able to optimize it as I go, and I have my own employees. And for me personally, I see my margins higher by having my own employee in warehouse compared to a prep center, since they charge you a per unit cost. So it is a variable cost, where if you have a warehouse, it's a fixed cost, and you could actually estimate how much money you can make from that fixed cost. But I say that to say, because when it comes to a prep center, you essentially don't have to receive the inventory or ship it out yourself, right? You could automate that process. And then with a warehouse and an employee, they could go ahead and receive the inventory for you and ship it out to Amazon for you. After that, number 4 is Amazon takes over. So every time you go ahead and get an order, Amazon will ship it out on your behalf, and your customer's happy. And if they're for some reason not, or have any questions, Amazon will take care of that customer service support. The other thing is, and this goes for other softwares as well. There's a ton of softwares out here that pretty much can automate so many of your backend systems. So one thing that you are doing is you're trying to compete for buy box, right? The buy now button. There's softwares out there called repricers that will change the price for you. So that way you stay competitive across all listings, as well as, there's accounting softwares, all that good stuff, which is number 6. Sellerboard is where I track all my inventory, profit, right? My profit and loss, how much money I'm making on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, whatever the case is. And I'm also able to put all my other expenses, like my warehouse, employees, virtual assistants, accounting softwares. And then number 7 is reinvest and scale, right? You are pretty much not reinventing the wheel. The system is already proven by several people, not just myself. This is something that's been around 1998, right? Just selling on Amazon as a third-party seller. You are not creating the brand. You're not needing to drive more marketing or do any other of the extra stuff. You're just trying to build a catalog of inventory that is selling extremely well on a daily basis, and reinvesting into more profitable inventory to then continue making more money and scaling. Now, across that path, during your journey, you will need to not just reinvest in products, reinvest into like systems, hire more people, virtual assistants, software, and all of that, again, is where I pretty much understand the entire process, selling $4 million on Amazon. And here we have the tech stack, things I went over, which is SellerAmp, Keepa, Sellerboard, Guerrero. The rest I would ignore. And then, 0% interest, APR cards. You guys could go ahead and do some research on that. And the other thing is, I didn't learn this, I built it, right? So when it comes to learning from other individuals, they're just going to give you generic strategies you could Google in 5 minutes, right? Now with AI, YouTube, Google, there's a lot of info, and it's pretty saturated, and no one's to give you a personalized strategic system built out that works pretty much on what you're trying to achieve. And in this business model, we all have different paths. So I was able to build out one that I was trying to achieve, but it has also proven for not just for me, but a lot of other individuals. And I built this on, like I mentioned, right, selling $4 million on Amazon on 3 active years. I've made my losses. I've made a lot of mistakes. I made, real wins. Now I have my own warehouse, right, a whole team, virtual systems, systems built from scratch. And I've proven helping a lot of other students do it as well. So not just me. And then now when it comes to this, right, what I've been able to build that has helped not just Julian, but also like Javi, Noah, Juan, and John, and several other of my students is my complete system built for people that are serious about building real income. So within this system is where you're going to have direct access to me and my team, not just some support inbox, right? You're going to get real guidance from people that are actively selling, doing this on a daily basis. You're going to get my exact strategies, right? My tools, my SOPs that has helped me generate $4 million on Amazon, all the way from finding your first product to running a fully automated operation. You're going to learn about virtual assistants, how you can build out your own team, fully train them, creating schedules for them and giving them roles, and how to help them not just be entry-level employees, but essentially run your entire business for you and help you reach that 7-figure, 6-figure, even 8-figure mark, which is what I'm striving towards. We also have other resources as well as like a CPA who's worked with 200 Amazon sellers to help you not just make sure that you're making the money you think you're making, but help you understand how you could be able to scale on the money side of things. I have a community as well of active sellers of every level, all the way from making their first $1,000 to doing 6 or even 7 figures on Amazon. We're also going to do live calls and coaching on a weekly basis where I could be able to go over anything that I think is important to ensure that you guys are up to date with what's going on, even do live sourcing with you guys. And all those calls are pre-recorded as well. So if you guys ever have any questions or are not able to be in the meetings, you could watch those recordings. The biggest thing I think is having access to me if you guys are ever stuck during the journey of understanding what you have to do, right? Being able to reach out to me. I also have over 50 hours of content when it comes to Amazon, all the way from sourcing your first product to then being able to scale up on the more advanced side, as well as other help on funding. I've been able to help people get over $1.7 million in capital that have been able to help them scale up to that next level on different types of businesses, but most of them have been people that sell on Amazon. And again, that capital has been life changing for them. So that way they could reinvest in their business and continue scaling. Like I mentioned, again, the opportunity is real. Like I told Noah, it's not really the information that you have, is whether you're going to go ahead and run with that and, take advantage of the opportunity and be willing to learn. So Amazon is, again, doing nearly $2 billion a day. Over 60% of that is from third-party sellers. There are over 210 million Prime members in the US alone ready to buy. The platform is not going anywhere. The opportunity is not shrinking. If anything, it's getting bigger. So the difference between the people who build something real on this platform and the people who keep watching videos is one thing, right? They started. And they started with a system and with people around them who'd already done it. Like Julian didn't know anything about business. He was able to quit his job in 2 months. You saw his numbers, right? $1.7 million last 12 months. Noah has his own warehouse in Miami in under 4 months. Javi went from just $1,000 to doing $45,000 per month. And Juan and John passed $50,000 in under 3 months. These are just a few individuals, not the dozens of people that I've been able to help. And I went from my house with $700 and a couple credit cards in sales and a 13,000 square foot warehouse. None of us waited until we had everything figured out. We started with the system and we built as we went. So if you are ready to do the same, you're able to go ahead and book a call right under below with me or my team. And this is going to be a free strategy call in which we're going to look where you are right now, where you want to be at, and we're going to map out exactly what makes sense for your situation. This is no pressure, no hard sell. At the end of the day, we only want to work with people that are going to be able to put in the work, put in whatever it takes to make it happen, right? Finally build that business, build that side income with their job, or be able to replace their job with something that makes sense. So just click the link, fill out the form, and just book your call. The platform is there, right? The system is there. The only thing missing is you taking that first step. So I'll see you guys on the other side.